Good afternoon, Rotary. I'm Lauren Snyder, president of this great club. Thanks for being here, despite heat and humidity. So I am still here, though, so no baby Snyder yet. I've told Aaron to be ready for next week. So thank you to Marilyn Wood for greeting us, and then the roundabout reporter will be John Diltz taking and logging our meeting. Pledge and reflection, Leslie Green. You want to come on up? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
32 years ago, I, like Lauren's wife Morgan, was waiting for a baby to come along, and I knew that he would come a little early, and he did come 3 weeks early. He was able to be rushed right away to the neonatal unit at Bloomington Hospital, where he received excellent care. I received excellent care later on. I was given the help of a lactation specialist so that my baby and I could share the breastfeeding and bonding experience that's created from that. He was in the hospital a little bit longer than I was. I was discharged and allowed to stay at the hospital to be near the baby so he could continue to be fed. As he grew up, I had quality child care for him. I had family. I had all kinds of resources to help me raise my beautiful son. It got me thinking about today, and it being his birthday, that Rotary does a lot for women and children. And we don't often talk about that. I was trying to think back on club projects that would emphasize women and children, and came up with not as many as the Rotary International does. So I went on the website and looked at what they're doing with women and children, which is one of the areas of emphasis for Rotary. And we work to expand quality care so mothers and children everywhere can have the same opportunities for a healthy future. An estimated 5.9 million children under the age of 5 die each year because of malnutrition, inadequate health care, and poor sanitation, all which can be prevented. So Rotary provides education, immunizations, birth kits, mobile health clinics. Women are taught how to prevent mother-to-infant HIV transmissions, how to breastfeed, how to protect themselves and their children from disease. A few of the projects that were noted on the website is the distribution of clean birth kits, and being able to train workers in safe delivery of babies. Using technology, doctors are able to do telehealth with women and children in Nigeria. Clubs in Japan and Brazil use Rotary Foundation global grant money to equip hospitals with life-saving neonatal equipment. And in the mountains of Poland, children that are traumatized by violence to get a chance to be kids again at Rotary Camp, where psychologists can mix therapy and escape for these children. So altogether, Rotary does a lot for mothers and children, and I'm grateful for that help for those mothers and children around the world, and grateful that our contributions to the Rotary Foundation help go toward those purposes. I wanted to quote Robin Zinzer, a co-founder of the Rotary Action Group for Population and Development and a retired president for Asia at a chemical-based BASF, who said, "If mothers are empowered and healthy, so are their families, leading to the alleviation of poverty and hunger." So, very good Rotarians for supporting those efforts.
Thank you, Leslie. Now I want to invite David up to introduce our guests. We've got several, not quite as many as last week. David.
Thank you. If you would, we have 3 guests today. If you would be so kind as to stand so that we may recognize you when I read your name. We have Rob Decker, guest of Liz Irwin from Smithville. We have Krista Browning, a guest of Jean Emery from Bloomington Transit. And lastly, we have John Taylor, guest of Hank Walter of the Association of College Unions International. I encourage all of you who may be interested in learning more about Rotary to turn either to your left or right, because anyone at your table will be happy to talk to you about membership. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Real quickly, our Rotary family birthdays this week, past and future. Winston Schindel was 829. Mike Hoff is 830. Shelley Yoder was 830. And Kim Gray was 9-1. So happy birthday, guys. Membership anniversaries this week. We have Jim Santo this is the shortest membership anniversary this week, at 16 years. Leslie Green at 17 years. Tony Stonger at 17 years. Charlie Osborne at 26 years. And then Jerry Ellenwood at 48 years. So, wow. So, Bill, Caitlyn, and Katie, you've got some work to do before 48 years, right? I guess, Bill, you've been adding some years already. So, quick pre-program announcements. This was just brought to us from the Boys and Girls Club. Some of you may already be attending, but a service opportunity, which they've been willing to actually give a table if we have some volunteers who want to go, is the Smart Girls Strong Women event at the Boys and Girls Club. Literally, my phone is ringing, and it is my wife. So I'm going to make some announcements real quick. Okay, now I'm flustered. Smart Girls Strong Women event on September 6th. They need help with setup and teardown at that event. So if you are going to be attending that event, please let me know. And we, number one, we'll have a table available if you want to go, and we'll be willing to help volunteer, set up, tear down, do the registration at that event. That's September 6th. So let me know. We'd love to have some representation there. The Comedy Addicts 10th anniversary is 100% of the proceeds are benefiting the Teachers Warehouse, starring Michael Ian Black. And he's a comedian that I recognize. Didn't recognize his name, but I recognized his face. September 20th at 8 p.m. Sarah Laughlin has many details if you need that. But pretty cool opportunity, an evening to go see a famous comedian and raise some money for Teachers Warehouse. District Governor Sue Wright, October 2nd. 2018 Rotary Toast honoring Steve and Connie Ferguson is November 2nd. Just confirmed this last night. November 20th, a very good friend of mine, Zach Depew, who is the former concert master at the Indianapolis Symphony Orchestra. He's going to be coming right here to have a performance for about 30 minutes as our program. So, and we're going to do some basic question and answer in between songs and things, but Zach will be here November 20th performing, and I'm not exaggerating, one of the best violinists in the world. If you haven't, look him up. It's amazing. Social, thank you to Gene and Joy for planning that. We had, I think, about 18 or so people joined us at Switchyard. Really neat spot if you haven't been there. But check it out. Thank you guys for setting up our first 505. Our board meeting recap, just real quickly. We talked about the idea of prospective members and the club covering the first prospective member lunch. That's something that we want to encourage you to bring guests and not creating ultimately a financial burden. So that's something the club is going to pick up moving forward. Our printed directory, Gene Emery is going to be leading that, and Charlie has said he's going to help you with pictures, getting that put together. A hard copy directory for people to actually have a physical book to look at addresses and different information on the club. And Gene has a neat format that you can actually update it, pull people out, add new members. My Rotary, we have reviewed the goals. I sent that out to the board. Kyla is also updating our website. And this, I'm just going to go with it and say it very publicly because I feel like I'm leading our organization. We have the ask out for the two congressional candidates, Liz Watson and Trey Hollingsworth. We had some conversation at the board level, and we have decided, we have extended the invitation. Historically, the club policy was, if we can't get both, we're only going to have both. If they can't get both, then neither is going to speak. I kind of made the executive decision. I don't think that's right. I think we need to have, if Liz has accepted and Trey chooses not to accept, and we can prove that we have made a genuine effort, which I promise you we are making, and he declines the invitation, we have done our due diligence. Some of you may not agree with that, but that's the decision that we made as a board, and I just wanted to be public with that. I want to be out, but that's how we're handling that circumstance. So I just wanted you to be aware of that, that if Liz comes and Trey doesn't, I promise you we are putting in the effort to get Trey to be here. I think that's it on the board meeting. Online survey results were fascinating. That 52, I'm going to read this. Sarah Laughlin did an analysis for me. Mine was much more chicken scratchy than hers, but quick analysis. Why did you join Rotary? The top 5 reasons after doing some really detailed analysis. Number 1, service was 26 responses, networking 25, being invited 15, prior knowledge or benefit from Rotary, family member, another club, previous participation 10 responses, fellowship 8 responses, and there were some additional. What keeps you in Rotary? Fellowship 33 responses, service 25 responses, program 16 responses, being part of a team or leadership 10 responses, and agreement and alignment with the mission of Rotary 7 responses. What could cause you to leave Rotary? Number 1, inaction by the club, decline in service activities was 15 responses, too busy with work, family 9 responses, poor health 8 responses, cost 7 responses, and 5th, politics, religion, entering club activities 7 responses. Hopefully I didn't offend you there with my previous comments, but really neat analysis. If anybody wants to see that, thank you, Sarah, for doing that. Okay, quarterly lunch buddies, something I promised that I want to get people together. Obviously you want to network and build relationships based on the survey results. Natalie has done a just random drawing and pairing for every member in the club. We're going to scrub that so you don't get paired with somebody who's, for health reasons, not able to be here or not participating. And we will make that available, and that's going to be a makeup. If you simply go get coffee or lunch or dinner with this person, it will be considered a network. Make up to your membership for in attendance. So that will be coming. The initial list is put together, and we're going to scrub it just to make sure everybody has an opportunity to get paired with somebody. So I think that'll be fun, and we're going to do that on a quarterly basis. Final thing, which I think this is interesting and appreciated. Anne Marie Thompson sent us this from Dr. Jerry. Just real quickly, this is from her. Dear Club, Rotary Club of Bloomington, I write to thank you for so warmly welcoming Dr. Jerry, giving back to Africa's country director in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Last week at the Rotary Club Luncheon, when I picked him up, he was glowing with delight for the time he spent with you. He kept on describing all the interactions he had with all of you, and I felt so thankful for having been part of this club. On behalf of Dr. Jerry, the Giving Back to Africa board members, and especially the children and teachers at College des Saviors, thank you once again for all that you have contributed to their learning environment. The children of Congo are the only future Congo has, and the students at College des Saviors belong to that future. I am always so humbled and thankful that people like you, who will never see these children halfway across the globe, care so deeply. I will never forget the 4-way test, which remains for me a foundation for servant leadership. Once again, many thanks, Anne Marie. And I extended her an invitation to join us anytime if she's available and up to it. Okay, with that, I want to invite Liz Irwin up to celebrate some new members, transferring members, and additions to the club. Liz.
Please, call your wife.
You guys can handle it.
Thanks, Julia.
While we anxiously await the news that Lauren is hopefully going to be sharing with us soon, I'm just going to go ahead and read a little bit about our newest members. And while I'm doing that, if I could get Katie Beck, Caitlyn Lippa, and Bill Oates, along with their sponsors, to come on up to the stage. We'll be going over the induction ceremony right after I read a little bit more about our newest members. Katie Beck is a graduate of Indiana University Bloomington and Northeastern University School of Law. She is an attorney, educator, and the founder of a nonprofit that works with students and media professionals to address social justice issues in rural Afro-Caribbean communities in Costa Rica. She joined the media school in 2017 and is responsible for coordinating course-based travel opportunities, service learning initiatives, and various student leadership and professional development activities. Originally from Fort Wayne, Katie moved back to Indiana last year after 8 years of living in Boston and Costa Rica. She is excited to be part of the professional community of Bloomington and so very happy to be a Rotarian. Caitlyn Lippa is a volunteer recruitment specialist with the American Red Cross. She places a high value on service and community support with a background including work in crisis intervention, advocacy, and support group facilitation. She is a proud lifelong Indiana resident and IU grad. In her spare time, she enjoys spending time with her husband Tyler and training as a competitive weightlifter. Bill Oates comes to us from the Rotary Club of Coral Gables, Florida, where he was a member for 25 years. He served on his club's board as public relations director and then as youth director. He is a multiple Paul Harris Fellow and recently made his daughter Liz a Paul Harris Fellow. Not me. But some of you may remember Liz. As a student at IU, she worked with our club, with Glenda Murray and others, to found a Rotaract club. More recently, Liz has made Bill and his wife Rita grandparents with the birth of a baby girl in July. This was 3 months too early, and baby Grace is still in the neonatal intensive care in Miami. The good news is that she now weighs 5 pounds 2 ounces. Bill first came to Bloomington in 1965 after earning an engineering degree at Purdue. Uniquely, he wanted to write about science and technology, so he joined the IU journalism program, where he earned a master's and doctorate degrees. He also met Rita here on a blind date at Nick's. Bill has been a science writer for General Motors Research Laboratories. He's taught at the University of Alabama and the University of Miami, was publications director for the American Welding Society, and the editor of the Miami Herald's International Edition. After retiring from the Herald, he was a visiting professor of journalism here at IU from 2010 to 2013. His PR students worked with Judy Schroeder to write member profiles for the Roundabout. Bill says he has had more than a dozen addresses in Bloomington, and he's thrilled to be back home again in Indiana. I'm going to go ahead and give the sponsors pins to hang on to, and I'll go through the introductions. Katie Beck, Caitlyn Lippa, and Bill Oates, on behalf of the board and membership of the Bloomington Rotary Club, it is a great pleasure to welcome you as the newest members of our club. We look forward to the fellowship that we will share as your participation in many club projects that make our community, country, and world a better place. Though Rotary is not a political organization, Rotarians are vitally concerned with good citizenship and the election of strong leaders to public office. While Rotary is not a religious organization, it is built on those eternal principles that have served as a moral compass for people throughout the ages. Rotary is an organization of business and professional people pledged to uphold the highest ethical and moral standards. Rotarians believe that worldwide fellowship and peace can be achieved when people unite with the Rotary motto of service above self. Rotary activities exemplify the charity and sacrifice that one would expect from people who believe they have a responsibility to help others. Katie, Caitlyn, and Bill, you have been chosen for membership in the Bloomington Rotary Club because your fellow members believe you to be a leader in our community, and because you possess the qualities to champion the message and principles of Rotary. You are representatives of your vocation within our club and community. You now become an ambassador of Bloomington Rotary, carrying the ideals of service to all within your sphere of influence. Our community will know and judge Rotary by your character and service. We will also look to you for inspiration as we strive to become better Rotarians. I now ask your sponsors to vest you with the distinguished badge of a Rotarian, your Rotary pin. We ask that you wear your Rotary pin with pride, not only to all Rotary functions, but in your many endeavors, as a symbol of your commitment to Rotary ideals and our recognition of your contribution toward a better world.
Okay. Ready?
Thank you, guys. Congratulations. No baby. No baby, just a minor fender bender, so not good news. So we will survive, we always do. All right, now I want to invite Owen up. Sorry, David, we cut into your time a little bit there, but exciting stuff. That's what this is all about, and growing our team that's doing good work here. Owen Johnson, to introduce our speaker.
Thank you. I'll cut this introduction short so we don't cut into David's time anymore. Our speaker is just the person who can help Indiana football because he comes from the heart of SEC country. He has been involved with enrollment management at Indiana University since 2007. He was born in Georgia, grew up in Alabama. He did his bachelor's degree in political science at Troy University, which is known as the Trojans, which is a logical nickname for a team like that. Then he did a master's degree in management at Auburn. And then, just like going from Purdue to Indiana, he went on to Alabama to get his PhD in higher education. Without further ado, our speaker, David Johnson.
Wow, I can tell I need to come to Rotary because you guys have fun, and that's the best introduction I've had in some time. Thank you, Owen. Owen, thank you for inviting me to just share a bit with the folks here today, and I am going to be mindful of your time, so I'm going to put my phone here so I can watch the time and try to impart a little information that you might find beneficial. So thank you for the opportunity to share with you a little bit about Indiana University and enrollment management, and really hot off the press, really before it hits the press. I will be sharing some numbers with you, so I'll ask that you do not take photos of the slides, do not post on social media. Let's, do we have the media here today? Yes. All right, well, can I? Yeah, local TV? Yeah, okay. Well, it'll be, by the time you produce it, they are official census numbers, so it's okay. I'm just mindful of my colleagues on the campus who want to convey these figures, right, Dick? So good to see some familiar faces in the crowd. So I don't want to get sideways with the Board of Trustees, right, Trustee? So, without any further ado, I just want to say thanks to Owen again, and thank you for the opportunity. I want to quickly say before I jump in, and I just have 4 slides, really, so and then there'll be time for Q&A because you have questions about all kinds of things, I think, that I've always believed that volunteering is the rent we pay for living. And being involved in the community and getting engaged in the community, or your church or in any organizations, giving back to others is really that service above self. And so I'm delighted that I see Efrat Pfefferman. Where is Efrat? In the group right back there. Yes, she's the executive director of United Way, and I'm on the United Way board, and I have the privilege and honor to serve as the United Way board president this year, and having served on the campus side as a campus representative. So great to see that you have colleagues here from United Way, and giving back in the community is so very important. I see member agencies here as well, and so many opportunities for our students to engage and volunteer throughout the community, whether it's United Way supported agencies or otherwise. And certainly I know that the Rotary Club is heavily involved. I don't have to go through all the things that were already referenced in terms of the Teachers Warehouse or the WTIU and WFIU fundraising and volunteer work with Stone Belt Pals, all of these things that I know that you're involved in. So thank you for making IU Bloomington a wonderful place to be, because of Bloomington and because of the community that you are here in Bloomington. And my job in enrollment management is to, and you can't really read all that, is to serve students, to recruit students, to enroll students, to support students. And I have a division of 10 offices within enrollment management, but the main ones that you would be familiar with are admissions. You got to get admitted, and then financial aid. You have to have some funds, hopefully, to help you come to IU. And the Office of Scholarships also helps with that, between financial aid and scholarships. And then the registrar's office is vitally important because you have to get registered and continue to register for classes. And then, of course, our first year experience office is helping students navigate their first year. And we really launched a great new program this year that I'm going to share a slide on that for you. So that's a little overview, about 150 full-time staff and then some other hourly staff. So it's a great group of people that I have the privilege to work with every single day on this campus. So here are the stats that I was going to tell, so I better quickly get it off of here with the media in the room. It's fine. They're all official. It's appropriate. This is the class of 2022, our freshman class. We have 8,097. It's a record enrollment. We had 8,001 last year. We're looking for about 8,000 freshmen, and when you're looking at enrollment modeling and predictions for that size class, you get up a little over the target sometimes and a little under the target sometimes, and but that is where we are this year. So that's, I say it this way when people want to say, well, oh, that's too many students. And I said, well, it's a tremendous opportunity for every one of those young people to get an IU education and to change their life. And you think about those of you who've gone to college and how that changed your life and the experience and opportunity. So I'd say it's a very positive thing that we're able to educate and enroll these young people at IU Bloomington. We also have 4,667 Indiana residents who are in this class. It is more Indiana residents than any other university in the state or in the world, really. So we're pleased that we have more than our friends up the road in West Lafayette. And we're also pleased to have a record underrepresented student population, 1,358 underrepresented students, minority students on our campus, and we have been working hard every year. And I've been at IU since 2007, as Owen said, working to make sure we deliver a quality class, a diverse class, one that has affordability measures built in to support them, and an international class as well. So we have students from all 92 Indiana counties, and you would think, oh, don't you get that every year? But it's very hard to get that number right, and this is just the second time in 10 years that we've been able to do this. And to do all of that, I mentioned financial aid and support, and 64% of these students receive gift aid, scholarships, grants that they do not have to pay back. So that is significant, and that's up from last year, 60% of the students. So we have students from 45 states, 41 countries, 6 continents, inhabited continents. And the GPA is equal to last year's record of 3.83, so we repeated that again. And the SAT is a second best to last year's record of 1295. We're at 1292 this year. So those are some of the metrics that we look at when examining our class, and I can answer any questions about that, but I will move on to the next slide. And how do we get this class? Well, it takes a team effort. It takes a considerable amount of work on the part of a lot of people within my organization, but across all of the university, all the academic departments that help us recruit students, that provide scholarships to students, that serve students. And so you can see, wow, that is a little, my funnel did not come through. Must be a difference in computer or projector or something. Sorry about that. That is unfortunate. Well, you see the numbers and there's a triangle in the middle. Thank you. There you go. You're already visualizing it for me. Thank you. Yes. So, 526,000, boiling that down. What is in the middle, and I can try to remember without it being there, is those are prospects. Actually, the prospects, those are bought names, 526,000 students. Students who then become engaged with us is 103,000. Maybe they visited, maybe they expressed an interest on their own. Then 44,000 are those students that we admitted to the university. So we admitted 44,000 to get 8,096. I mean, it is a huge endeavor, and that's why our enrollment modeling and projections and regression analysis, all of that is so very important, because if you can miss the mark and then you've got too many or too few students in your population. Then 44,000 is the applicant pool. Those who applied, we admitted 33,000 of them, still a huge number. I'm doing pretty well from memory here. And then 9,085, I think, were probably reserved for orientation, and then there's a little, or those were deposits, enrollment deposits. And then 8,097 is the class. Whew, gosh, that was pretty good from memory. And then what I also see that isn't here is a slide. Sorry, that difference in equipment, difference in computers, and there's the funnel. And the last slide, which also is just not showing, is just this graphic about, so all these 8,097 students, how are we getting them engaged on campus? We have developed a new program called the Hoosier Experience for the first year. We had consultants come in and give us a report to help us understand what students needed to be engaged in on our campus. Well, there are a lot of things to do on this campus, that's for sure. But what do we want to direct students to get engaged in? And so we have these 4 themes that I hope you will find agreeable to you. One is academics and careers. They are here for academics, so we want them to connect with academics and careers. We also want them to get involved locally, hence community service and volunteering, and globally. So that's a combination area of local and global. IU is certainly a global institution with all of our study abroad, our 70 languages we teach on campus. And now we have 4 flagship programs, which are intensive language programs. Sorry, I won't get on the recruitment bandwagon here, but that's fantastic, local and global. And then arts and humanities, those are significant at IU. These are significant assets at IU that we want students to be engaged in, and whether that's our first Thursdays or going to museums or what have you, arts and humanities. And finally, equity and inclusion. We want students to be educated in a diverse setting, a diverse classroom, and a diverse environment, because the world is diverse that they're going out into work in, and we want them to understand others and to have compassion and to have interest and to be able to interact with others in a compelling way. So those are the Hoosier Experience opportunities, and those are the formal pieces of my presentation, so I am open to answer any questions for you. And my speech writer prepare probably would be disappointed that I didn't fully deliver the formal speech, but I thought it was better just to talk with you today. But I can end afterwards on a formal note, but I'll answer any questions you have about any of that or any other questions about enrollment.
How does the Hoosier Experience work? I mean, do you plug into one of those sections and you're stuck there, or
That's a terrific question. Thank you. Thanks for your interest in that. Students have the options through an app on their phone, of course, FYE app, to participate in a variety of activities. If they participate in 6 within any of those 4 areas, they will get a e-certificate, which is something new that we are launching this year, so they can get recognition for being engaged and connected on campus. We hope that it could work into a research certificate or a IU Core engagement certificate in the future. So you're not required to do just one section. You can participate in any of them, which gives you a broader breadth of experience. Right here.
You talked about this year's class
and we have a lot more students. Can you fill in the big picture of what how many students we have, of what variety, graduate, visiting scholars, all that stuff, and the retention issue?
Sure. Well, I will attempt to. Thank you. It's a great question. We have 43,000 and something students on campus. Those data will be released, I think, tomorrow, and so I'll give it to my colleagues to be able to answer the broader questions on all of that. But roughly 30-something thousand undergrad, and then the difference is our graduate student population. I'll let them talk about how that compares to years past. It's a very solid enrollment, and we should all be proud of that. Is it fair enough? I'll defer to my colleagues who need to get that press out tomorrow. Yes, in the back.
Me?
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. What shifts do you see in international recruitment?
Yes, so we, last year, just to give you an example of that, last year in the freshman class we had 688 international students, and this year I think we're ending at coming in with 580. So a slight reduction in international students, and I will say it's a multitude of factors. Those who have been at IU a good while will remember that the Korean students were our largest student population. And if you taught at IU, you may know that. We now still have a significant, they are second or third largest group of students coming in from Korea. It's just a smaller number. And Indian students have grown in number, and Chinese students have grown in number. But as China and India build their own universities, have their own English training and all of the things that people come here for, then that would reduce the number of students. So that's a positive thing within their country. Other challenges, of course, are the ability to get your paperwork in, your visa on time and in a timely manner, and challenges in that space. And then you could go to other geopolitical issues that are happening in other countries and then in our own country. And so a variety of factors, I think, are at play in that. In the back. Phil.
Could you tell people about the common applications with the regional campuses and your involvement?
Sure, that's a great question. So the question was about the Common App, and that is a name of one app, and then you could use that word in pejorative, that there's several common applications. So IU Bloomington is on 3 applications. For the fall of 2017, we moved to the national branded Common App, where there are 700 and something institutions on that application, I believe. And so we use the Common App to be in the place where students are looking, and they just fill out the Common App and say IU, some other institutions that we won't want to say, and some down south maybe, and you just check the box for those at schools that participate in the Common App. We also have the Coalition app, which we started last year too, which is a really new application in the country, and it's really about access to students and to giving students tools within this application to develop their application and portfolio. But I will also say the Coalition app was built to be some competition with the Common App, and it's a fair thing that maybe you don't have one application in the space. So we have the Common App, the Coalition app, and of course then we've always had our own IU application, and for this past year, now delivering this class, it was an all IU application. So you could go to that application and select which campuses you'd like to apply to, and then see if you get admitted by that campus to come there. So it is a very positive thing, I think, to give students in the state of Indiana the option of looking at all campuses. And so for some students, IU Bloomington then would be a stretch. And for some other students, perhaps IU Bloomington would be a place they are already prepared to come to, and then for some students, they don't want to come here. So it's nice that they have a variety of options, because also IU, as you know, has 7 campuses and a variety of options to support students wherever they're coming into the higher ed space. And do I need to leave time for Lauren, do I? Yes, okay, so I'll make sure, yes, 1 or 2 more, right here in the front.
Following up on Charlotte's question, can you talk a little bit about retention efforts and specifically what percentage of the entering class of 8,000 do you project?
Sure, absolutely. So, and I'll use some back data to help us with that, because we don't know quite yet how they'll perform, but last year's retention rate from the freshman class of 2016 to 17 was 91%. So, and then within the Big Ten, that is pretty solid, right where our peers are. Some are higher than us, some are lower than us. The graduation rate is 77. 6-year graduation rate is what is widely produced, and that's 77%. We also have many efforts trying to push students to graduate within 4 years, but our 4-year and 6-year are well above the national average. Our graduation rates are above, but always trying to strive to get more students to persist and graduate. And we could talk a lot longer about the services available on campus for all kinds of students, whether you are academically strong or academically challenged. There's a variety of options. You can be in the Hutton Honors to help you thrive, or you could be in another support program to help you thrive if you are more academically challenged. So there's lots of services on campus.
I was a little surprised at the number of students needing financial aid. When they graduate, assuming they graduate, what kind of a debt on average do they have?
Yeah, that's a great question. So this is, and I guess gets into terminology, so I'll try to be clear on this, that this is gift aid. These are scholarships and grants that have been given to students. Not all of it is need-based aid. In terms of the merit money that we give out, which is scholarship money, about 40% of those students also have financial need, but all of that percentage and all of what I'm talking about is not loans, it's gift aid. And then finally, the average debt of students who do graduate, which is about a quarter of our students in the most recent data, who graduate with about $28,000, which is slightly above the national average. And why would that be the case? Well, we are a selective institution, an AAU member, a Big Ten member, and so our cost is a little bit higher than, let's say, some other institutions like a community college or other campuses. And so we're working really hard to make IU affordable, and those who do choose to take out loans, $28,000 is the average, and that's like having a car payment to pay off, well worth a lifetime investment on your education. Much more valuable to you than any car you'll ever own. Okay, I think, okay, one last question, and I got to step down, yes.
Could you tell me how you count students that articulate, say, from Ivy Tech into IU? Are they in those numbers, or are they expressed somewhere else?
That's a great question. This is all about freshmen, but beginners, and this is not about transfer students. We did have, I think, about 700, 650 transfer students in the class this year that came in, but that was all just freshmen, non-transfer students. All right, thank you. Thanks so much. I appreciate your time.
All right, and David, thank you for being here. And it's our custom that we make a charitable contribution in the name of the speakers on a quarterly basis. And this quarter, our contribution, which your name will be included, is going to the Area 10 Agency on Aging. So thank you again for being here. All right, so, I don't think I have any other additional announcements, but I know we missed Happy Dollars. We had a lot of good stuff going on today, but we'll get back to it next week. Or Aaron will get back to it next week. Real quickly, next week we have Pat East. Our program will be Pat East from the Hennepin Marketing CEO and Hennepin and the Dimension Mill. The greeter will be Sarah Laughlin. Pledge and reflection, David Meyer. Introduction of guests will be Jean Emery.
No, it's Caitlyn now.
It's Caitlyn now. Diving in, huh? Thank you. I love that. Thank you, Jean. All right, and roundabout reporter will be John Diltz. Thought for the week. I like this one. If you think you're too small to make a difference, spend a night with a mosquito. All right, let's rise and recite the four-way test. +1. Of the things we think, say, or do, first, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? And fifth, is it fun? Have a great afternoon and a great week, guys.